Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Today,
afternoon.
my Dr. Vinod Kaushik, on the behalf of IP India technical team with Dr. Utra as a co-host, in front of you to present the webinar, which is organized by IAP and IAP Women's Cell Uttarakhand branch. And this webinar is covering the two topics. One is the stress and anxiety management in COVID-19 by Dr. Archana Dogra. And the second topic is professionalism in physiotherapy. The way to excellence by Dr. Harihara Prakash. Welcome, sir, for this topic. And I show my gratitude towards Dr. Sanjeev K. Jha, IIP President, and Dr. Ruchi Vaishnavi ma'am for providing this wonderful platform to sharing the knowledge. Today, the moderator of this webinar are Dr. Manish Arora. Sir, don't need any introduction, but this is a formality I have to give here. Sir is IIP Uttarakhand President, just now working as a Dean, Students Welfare at SBS University with 23 years of teaching experience. Welcome, sir. And the other moderator is Dr. R. Arun Moji, sir. Sir is Associate Professor at SBS University. Sir is having the experience of teaching 17 years. Sir has been awarded for his research work in suboccipital muscle trigger points and headache. And today, the third moderator of this webinar is Dr. Reena Kumari. Ma'am is IIP Women's Cell, Uttarakhand State Coordinator. Ma'am is the head of physiotherapy department at SBS University. Ma'am is having 23 years of teaching experience. Ma'am has guided more than 250 dissertation. And I just request all the attendees, please subscribe our IIP India YouTube channel and like IIP India Facebook page to get updated with the more webinars. Now I will just hand over to Dr. Manish Arora for the welcome speech and the introduction of the speakers. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vinod Kaushik. It's a wonderful setup you have made for this webinar to be possible. I think without the help of your presence, this webinar won't have been possible because without technical support, it cannot go. And before I start, I'll like to say thank you to the IAP India office bearers, especially President Dr. Sanjeev Jha. On his leadership, we are able to do all these things. This webinar has been a very wholehearted effort of IAP Women's Cell, Uttarakhand. Dr. Reena Kumari has put a lot of hard work to get it organized. She's been working very hard to get the things rolling. And of course, he has been assisted by Dr. Arun Mozi, who's been working, also EC member of IAP Uttarakhand. And both of them have worked very hard to get this thing. But then the stars of today's evening are Dr. Harihar Prakash and Dr. Archana, because without them, nothing could have gone to, even to that far extent. And before I welcome both the speakers, I will also like to mention a few other names who have been helping IAP Uttarakhand branch to run. One is Dr. S.K. Tyagi. He's a patron and advisor to our IAP Uttarakhand committee, and Dr. Gaurav Deep Singh, who's managing secretary, SBS University. So we are thankful to the support of both of them, as well as the entire Uttarakhand team and Women's Cell team. And let me start with Dr. Harihar Prakash. He has been a very good friend of mine, and we have been sharing this close bond for more than 20 years. And despite being a wonderful teacher and highly knowledgeable academician, he's a real noble person by heart. So I think I'm falling short of words to uh, give him the stature he deserves. But he's been a wonderful person, and I'm sure his experience and his knowledge would be worth listening to today. And Dr. Archana, she's a wonderful doctor. She's a dentist. I have been knowing her father for a very long time, and her family carries a very rich uh, sense of knowledge, and they have been really been passionate about their works, and I'm sure her teachings would also be very important for all of us to pick up some vital points from. So thank you both the speakers. Thank you, Dr. Reena. Thank you, Dr. Vinod Kaushik and Dr. Arun Mosi. I'll not like to waste any time further because we have two wonderful speakers, and I think we should set the ball rolling. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
With request Harisa to start
Okay, sir.
the
Yeah.
program.
Sure, sure. Can I have my screen shared, please, if I can? Yes. Here I am. Very good afternoon, good evening to one and all over here on this virtual platform. And in fact, my joy needs no limits, and I am on ecstatic stage. Before I get on to the talk, let me wholeheartedly thank the IAP India, Dr. Vinod, and all his associates. In fact, it is a great initiative, I should say, in these years of IAP we have been associated with. I think one of the blessings of COVID is that we are on board online, and this IAP India platform is a great opportunity for each one of us as teachers and for the students to learn and share their knowledge. So heartfelt gratitude to the IAP India team under the leadership of Dr. Jha and IAP Women's Cell, Dr. Ruchi Vashne, and my dear friend and Madam Dr. Reena Kumari for having me on this stage. And Dr. Manish had, in fact, I would like to repeat the same words. There are no words to explain our friendship that we share. It is heart to heart. Before we get on to the topic, थोड़ा दिल की बातें करें तो I feel ऐसे तो मुझे लग रहा है अभी मैं देहरादून में ही हूँ. It is my second home. As he said correctly, it's been almost 20 years I am associated with SBS. And it's never a no when there is a call from SBS. For the reasons that it is one of the excellent institute in the northern India. When Dr. Narkesh and Dr. Manish along with Dr. Reena Kumari have set the ball roll for this profession, I think this institute has done a great job for the profession, and many of the professionals who are in this country are all alumni of SBS. So that is one of the reasons that I feel so closely associated. More than that, they are in the foothills of Himalayas, Devbhumi. Next to it, Rishikesh and Haridwar. In fact, when you just enter over there, all your stress. In fact, Dr. Arjuna Dogra's talk, will be complimenting the peaceful nature of that Devbhumi, Uttarakhand. It is always second home, back home for me. So ये मुझे बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है opportunity का. And of course, my close friend, Dr. Arun Murray, who has been here for this. He is one of the key person to have me on board. So I thank everyone, Dr. Gaurav Deep, SP Singh sir, and all those who are with this university for giving me this opportunity and make me feel so close and home. And in fact, many of the passed out students from SBS take me as their own teachers, though I come as an external examiner or as a resource faculty to conduct workshops or classes. They feel so much close associated that they are my students and I am their teacher. So again, with all those gratitude to IAP India and SBS University and all the students and faculty, I just get on to this topic of professionalism, the way to excellence. I belong to Baikaka University, which is located in Anand, the milk capital of India. I'm there as a Dean Principal for K. Patel Institute of Physiotherapy, one of the constituent of our university. We have a medical college and a 1,000-bedded hospital. We have a full-fledged cancer and cardiac center. And before I go on to this topic, it's my duty, and I want to place in record that this professionalism has ingrained within me right from my childhood, as my parents and my teachers, school teachers, and my friends have taught me about what is professionalism, though not knowing the name as professionalism. But thanks to my Mahadev Fellowship FAMER program, Dr. Siraj Ali Muhammad, who was my mentor, who just explained to me the intricacies of professionalism, and the Dean of Medical College, Dr. Himanshu Pandya, who has also taught me that, and our CEO, Mr. Sandeep Desai, who has been taking regular lectures on professionalism for all the students. So this has become very close to my heart. Though there are a lot of physiotherapy techniques and skills are there for treating patients, the basic underlying factor of that professionalism, that nature, the way to excellence. That is why I just thought maybe having the students also on board. I believe that there are students here, practitioners, clinicians, academicians over there. So this topic will definitely address to all the community, irrespective of their position, maybe student or an academician. And moreover, this topic is just not limited to physiotherapy. That's why I didn't write the word professionalism in physiotherapy, though we will be taking through physiotherapy. This is an attribute, this is a quality that every professional does it. I'll be happy to do it as a face-to-face program, because we can do a lot of group dynamics using this program. I have been doing this as a one-day program also, where we do a lot of group dynamics exhibiting true professionalism. But here, with time constraints and all, let me directly take you on to what professionalism is. Yeah. So the main objective of my talk, at the end of this lecture, we'll be able to know about what is professionalism, what are the attributes, and what are the qualities a professional should be having it as a maybe to become a good physiotherapist, or to become a good medical practitioner, healthcare professional, or for that matter, maybe a good chef, or for that matter, any teacher. So any profession. So I'll be taking you through those qualities and what are that a professional should not have. So it will be a mixture of some main points which will help each professional to excel in their career. Ultimately, by being excellent in one's career, by adopting professionalism, we can become a true leader. So the next step to professionalism is to have that leadership qualities. Any leader will be exhibiting professionalism. So this slides and my talk will take you through, so that for the young buddies, they will become a good leader for our nation, for our profession, for our community. At this COVID juncture, we are all connected through virtual platforms. So there are always some etiquettes, there are always some mechanism that we should all follow. So that itself is a professionalism, like we adopt certain ways. So that is how I'm going to talk about all these things in the coming slides. Let me take you through that. Just give me a second to move the slides. Oh. Yeah. So what is professionalism? So if you see, it has to do with the way a person conducts himself or herself in the workplace. So when we talk about it's a profession, that is, for example, if we talk about physiotherapy, it is a profession, and a person who practices physiotherapy is a professional, and a person who conducts himself as a good teacher or as a good clinician, an educator at the workplace, maybe a college, institute, or maybe an university, or for that matter in a clinic, when you are when you are treating patients, or sometime when you do home care services, domiciliary services, there are ways to conduct oneself. That is the workplace. So a person who adopts that is a person who is exhibiting professionalism. That is what I'm going to talk about. So why do we talk? Why I wanted to address this? If you see this photograph of a medical healthcare professional walking on a ECG, trying to balance 1 million deaths due to surgical complications worldwide. So with all due regards to all the healthcare professionals, somewhere, some other area, medical negligence come into play, because of which we lost human life. So it's a big complication. Can we afford to have that? Almost 100,000 deaths due to medical negligence in the US hospitals, which is recorded over there. And in India, we don't have much of records as we search for it, but definitely it is going to be much more higher. For that very reason that it's a thickly populated country, and we have variety of people, illiterates to literates. India lives in rural area, rural population is high in number. So can we afford to have that? 5.2 million medical injuries in India. It happens, no doctor intentionally does anything wrong. But when we lack the professional qualities, there are a lot of such mishaps which can occur. So can we really afford not to? So in that case, what is the solution? It is just not alone the skill. It is just not alone the knowledge. More than that, the attitude the individual holds and how he conducts in his workplace makes a lot of difference. And you stand out of the crowd when you truly exhibit professionalism, which is the key word, which should be the heartbeat of every individual who are working for the profession. So I'm going to show you a small slide over here. In that, there will be a triangle, which is called as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Many of the educators would have seen this, which talks about from needs to wants. So as an individual, at the basic level, when you are entering into the career, you work for yourself, because we have a lot of physiological needs. I need to, earn my own. But we always say that who is the breadwinner of the family? Means the basic need for an individual to work is to sustain himself, herself, and their family associated with that. That is for the self thing, and gradually you go on little bit higher mode so that you take care of yourself. Health is another need. I need to meet out my health expenses. I need to be always employable. I need to make property. I need to make my family flourish. I need my children to study, and I want to be socially stable. So all these things are basic needs, for which we all take up a profession. We go to the school, we adopt a career, we read, we get a degree, and we start a job. So that is the basic. If you see in the Maslow's triangle, the lower level of the triangle is working for self, for myself. But as you go a little bit up, you work for others, because you develop your friendship. This is something, why this webinar is called for. It is, we wanted to share and learn knowledge. It is for others. Many people are on board. If at all you have to conduct this face to face, means that it involves a lot of other logistics. But here this IAP platform, SBS University is doing it for the broader benefit of the whole population, broader benefit of the students, for the academicians, clinicians. So we develop a sense of connection. And then later on, you wanted to build up your own career in such a way that you demand respect from others, and you become more confident. You try to achieve, you add on more degrees, you add on more qualifications, you attend a lot of workshops to sharpen your skills, so that you develop your self-esteem, which is the next level of the triangle, which is working for the others. We move from self to others. As we go on the top, here comes the professionalism, where this tip of the triangle talks about. Just a second. Yeah. That is self-actualization. That is realizing self through service and reflection. That is morality, creativity, spontaneity, acceptance, experience, inner potential. So you realize that physiotherapy is just not only alleviating pain. It is just not only, making a person able to walk around. It is beyond that. I realize that through this profession, let me connect to people. Let me enhance the global health of the whole population. Let us create a healthy environment across. That is how physiotherapy, way back in the days, started.
Dr. Arunamoji, sir, you are not audible.
Moji sir?
Yes,
Now
sir.
it's fine. Now it's fine, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. This is actually, meanwhile, it has been stuck right now. Is everything okay in your side, sir?
Sorry, everybody. That's my daughter's picture. Just a disclaimer.
It's I think there is a little network problem here. So I request Sir Kaushik sir, please look after this.
Not a problem. Sometimes the network width is very low, then these issues can come.
Okay.
If just
Okay.
try it, otherwise we can switch to the other speaker and then again come back to sir.
Okay. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, it's audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I audible
Yeah,
now?
it's audible. Yes, sir.
Okay, I think there was some issue in the net. I'm just sharing my screen again.
Network.
So,
Sure, sir. Sure.
can someone tell me that this was the slide where we got dropped, right? Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Is it that, Arun Marie, that we were in this slide only? Or should I have to go back?
Yes, sir. In the hierarchy.
Hierarchy
Yeah,
only.
in
No? Should I continue from here?
In the hierarchy peak.
Yeah, I'm continuing from here. Sorry for the disconnect. I don't know what happened.
Sure, sir.
So I was talking about moving from self to self-realization. It is just initially we start our work to fulfill our basic needs like bread and butter, family upbringing, children upbringing. Gradually, we realize that it is a great service through physiotherapy. We can enlighten so many hearts. We could able to enlighten so many minds, and we could able to create more professionals. So that by having increasing a number of qualified, realized health professionals, we could able to enhance the global health. So that is what is the need. So we move from want to need. So actually that professionalism is climbing from the lower level of Maslow self to the higher level of Maslow, which is the service. So who is a professional when we talk about it? So I'm going to share a small story. I want all the students will be happy listening to a story. I'll share this story after this slide. Stay on with me. Stay tuned. It is an interesting story. I think that particular story is enough to share what is professionalism. If you don't go through the slides and understand other intricacies, just the story will tell. So these 4 points are very essential to be a professional. First is completion of work without supervision, certification of quality of work, and manages the increasing volume and manages complexity. That is, I don't want anybody above you who have to tell me that you are working properly, you are not working. Am I okay? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So a person who works even without supervision, and a person who certificates himself that I have done the best job. For example, I'm talking to you all. At the end of the lecture, I should be able to certify myself whether I have done the right job or whether this webinar went well or not well. So I need to certify myself as a true professional. And increasing volumes, in the sense, as the workload increases, many people lose their equanimity. They get shattered. They can do one task at a time, and when three, four things comes, they may not be able to. And then manages complexity. It's not that always, the profession is full of path of roses. You get thorns also. You should be able to handle those things. So those people who have these 4 qualities are supposed to be called as a professional. I'm going to talk about, this is the story as I was telling about you. It's an interesting story. Please stay with me. ये story मेरा दिल के बहुत करीब है और ये मैंने एक book से मैंने पढ़ा था. Later on I searched and I got to know that it is a real life story. It happened in one of the small hamlets town in eastern Karnataka, very much away from Bangalore, closer to Mysore. It's a small village. वहाँ का ये story है ये story में आपको almost I'll take 3-4 minutes to 5 minutes to explain to you the story. ये story के through आपको exact professionalism का मिल जाएगा. आप यहाँ पर फोटो में देख रहे हैं. What could you see from the photograph? It is a graveyard where dead bodies are buried. Okay, so this story is going to revolve around that thing. It's an interesting story which touched my heart. Probably my outlook about professionalism was clearly understood by me, and I started trying to practice it in my life after I listened to this story when I read it in a book. It is available in the Google also. You can Google it and you'll get it. The story goes like this. एक छोटा सा गांव है कर्नाटका में, and there was a small family, a mother and a child. उनका पापा नहीं है, वो माता जी का रोज का काम है, वो गरीब फैमिली है, पढ़े लिखे नहीं है. That mother used to go to that small village around. वहां का लोगों के घर के जो भी रूटीन का काम, झाड़ू पोछा लगाना है, बर्तन सफाई करना है, ऐसे काम करते करते she was trying to do her daily and meet her both the ends with the money that she gets it. उसमें you can imagine कितना वो लोगों का luxury life होता होगा. दिन की 2 बार या 3 बार रोटी मिलता है, वो बहुत होता है. And this small boy was living with the mother, and years were going on, and the boy grew as an youngster, adolescent बन गया था, and this mother was becoming older and older. एक दिन ऐसे हुआ था that mother fell sick, काफी बीमार हो गई थी. So she could not able to go to the houses to do her daily course by supporting that family of cleaning the utensils or washing the clothes, cleaning the house. Nothing could be done. And the village people somehow supported that boy. Was starving, उनको खाना तक भी नहीं मिल रहा था. फिर विलेज वाले ने आके देखा था तो ये माता जी काफी बीमार थे. Then they all felt that she needs to be hospitalized. So you can imagine वहां पर तो ऐसे बड़े हॉस्पिटल तो होता नहीं. It's a small village, मतलब हैमलेट, मतलब छोटा सा हैमलेट है. वहां पर कोई PHC जैसे कुछ गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल था, प्राइमरी हेल्थ सेंटर जैसे. So ये इनको माता जी को वहां जाके एडमिट कराया. So ultimately what should happen? This boy also had to go with the mother because he is all alone in that house. He can't survive in that small village. So उनकी mother के help के हिसाब से वो भी hospital चला गया था. So this mother health was gradually deteriorating. Doctors were giving some other medicines. एक दिन गया, हफ्ता गया, 10 दिन गया, 15 दिन, almost 1 महीने का होने लगा और माता जी का health इतना improve नहीं हो रहा था. Meanwhile, this boy was not knowing about what is ill health. इनको बस इतना इमोशनल कुछ, ऑलरेडी छोटे उम्र से पापा को तो देखा ही नहीं था, मदर का ही देखा, तो इसको इतना इमोशनल नहीं है. he used to play in the hospital. जो भी वार्ड में रिलेटिव्स होंगे उनके साथ खेलना है, या वहां का जो भी बाहर बैठ के थोड़ा इधर उधर देखना है. he was just passing on the time like that. And one fine morning it happened, this lady passed away. She also died, and this boy had to become an orphan. Already father was not there, mother also passed away, and he need to just be alone. So the village people took pity on this boy. वो आके बोल रहे थे, बेटा आ जाओ महादेव, आप वापस चलेंगे, अभी तो मम्मा भी नहीं है. So वो हॉस्पिटल के बाजू में ही ऐसे एक ग्रेवयार्ड था, वहां पर उनका जो भी विधि करना है करा दिया, इसको बर्न किया, बरी किया, whatever. And they called this boy, Mahadev, आ जाओ, we will go back to the village. आपका आप हमारे लिए करके जैसे मम्मा किया था, you do all those tasks of cleaning the house and जो भी petty chores है वो कर लो. We will give you 3 times a day meal. आपको छोटा मोटा जो पैसा हम दे देंगे, आप अपना जिंदगी चला लो. This was the villagers say. But to everybody's surprise, Mahadev said that I will not come with you. I don't want to come. Let me remain here in the PHC itself. And the villagers were taken aback. How come you will live in the hospital? Your mother is no more and you don't have any relatives. What are you going to do in the hospital? At least you come back to the village and we will support you. And somehow this boy was so stubborn, and this youngster said, no, I am not coming and I'll stay here. And this villagers persuaded once, twice, thrice, and later they realized, okay, this boy is determined. He doesn't want to come. So let him be here, and then just told him that whenever you want to come back, you please come back. We will take care of you. Take care of yourself. Okay? These villagers came back. And this boy again lived over there. And as I told you, next to this PHC, there was a graveyard like this. वहाँ का क्या है कि वो जो भी unclaimed bodies या non-relative या जो भी किसी को आया नहीं है, उनका सारे वहाँ पर dead bodies को वो लोग वहाँ पर they used to cremate those bodies. And there was an old man who used to do that task. Somehow during these days when he was staying, Mahadev was staying in the hospital, he used to sit with that old man to pass time. As I told you, he was playing around. He used to sit outside. And this boy, as and when time permitted, he used to sit over there. So he permanently went and attached with this old man. And he started helping him for his, all these cremation and all. So as and when the dead body comes, this old man used to receive And Mahadev used to assist him in lifting the body and arranging the woods and all. Aag lagana hai, jo bhi support karna hai, he used to support, and it has, gradually become his profession as an assistant cremator. He used to be with this old man only. Days passed on, and this old man used to do all the tasks, and this man used to, Mahadev used to support him, and his name gradually spreading over there. Mahadev करके एक लड़का वहां पर है, वो छोटा लड़का वो दादाजी को हेल्प करता है, ऐसे डेड बॉडीज ऐसे लोगों को, आसपास लोगों को पता चला. And again, the fate came that this old man also had to die one day, and he passed away. So now Mahadev's job was to take care of the whole crematorium. So whatever the dead bodies come over there, it was only Mahadev who used to receive the dead body and used to do all the rituals. But surprisingly, what happened is this boy started enjoying that work as a career. Whenever this dead body comes, irrespective of the state of the dead body, whether it is with pus around, whether it was 3-4 days, even accident dead bodies, there were no claim on the highway, Bangalore highway, somewhere the dead bodies were there. And this boy, Mahadev used to get a call, and he used to go there, pick up the dead body. Police officials used to come and give the dead body, and they gave him some 100, 200, whatever the money to dispose of that body. That was his earning. With that, he started earning his livelihood. And this boy, what he did was, knowing that this is going to be his life, he started gradually doing it as a, in a proper way. When the dead body is received, he will just not cremate it. Though it is dead body, no feelings, no emotions, and no relatives are there. Nobody is above him to look at it. He just used to wash the dead body, clean it thoroughly, and then buy a garland with whatever the amount they give. And dead body के ऊपर उनका माला को चढ़ाना है, अगरबत्ती जलाना है, दिया जला के भगवान जी से प्रार्थना करके he used to dispose of that body. You can imagine, no education, nobody taught him. He himself developed that habit of properly disposing of that body, cremating it on his own. So this activity of him, pleased the people around. They were so happy seeing, how come ye to itna niche ka kaam hai? Who will voluntarily take up a task of burying a dead body? But they were so happy seeing this man has voluntarily taken it up and doing it so diligently. He used to do all the rituals so properly. So his name and fame went across. All the police officials used to call him, Mahadev, come, there is a dead body over here, and it has been unclaimed more than 3-4 days. He used to rush over there. He got small people, local villages donated some money, and he got an auto rickshaw also. So jiske through jaake aana hai, dead body ko leke aana, even the local petrol bunk people and all used to give him free diesel, petrol, whatever is needed. And it has become a great service, and this man started doing it with putting his whole heart and soul. And you will not believe, this man got married, and he has got 2 sons. One of his sons completed his IT engineering, and he is now assisting. This fellow is still alive. It is just not a story where it is written by someone. It is, this Mahadev is still there in that particular village, and that's how this Times network, it has been written over there. And one day, the governor of Karnataka called him on stage during one of the Independence Day and felicitated him for his work diligence. He was given an award. He was felicitated with a cloth and garland and everything. And his name came in the newspaper that this Mahadev is a person who has been doing this task willingly, voluntarily, expecting nothing from the people. Whatever the money they give, he used to do it, but with utmost sincerity and diligence. Can you believe this small boy who was brought up without a father, and the mother passed away at the young age, took up the task, assisting an old man, doing all the tasks on his own, and felicitated by governor of Karnataka, which had happened. So this is the story which I wanted to share with all the people over here. The lesson learned. How do I relate this with the professionalism? Let me go back to the previous slide. If you see the first task, completion of work without supervision. Just relate Mahadev. After the dead man, that old man went away, he used to do the task completely. He was not employed by somebody. Can we imagine our own students? When the teacher are there, they will be quiet. When the teacher goes away, they will make noises. So examination hall, when the teacher is there, no copying. When the teacher turns this side, they try to copy each other. So we want always to be constantly supervised. So a person who works only on supervision is not a true professional. That was the first lesson learned by me, is that completion of work without supervision, like how Mahadev did completely. He was not satisfying anybody. There was no performance appraisal. हर महीने इतने महीने में इस महीने में कितने patients आपने देखा, कितना आपने assignments पूरा किया. Nobody was giving him कितना dead bodies को आपने cremate किया, हिसाब क्या है. Nobody asked him. That's the first thing of being a true professional. Second, certification of quality of work. In that, this boy used to assist the old man. He used to clean the one. He used to just bury the body. But this boy improved the quality of work by cleaning the body, doing all the rituals, garlanding it, agarbatti jalana hai, diya jalana hai, jo bhi prarthana karna hai. So he has certified the quality of work has drastically improved, just not by burying the body. He did it as a great ritual with all sincerity. So that is very important. And he was competing within himself. There was no competitor over there. हमको competition नहीं है तो हम आगे नहीं बढ़ते हैं. अगर second rank वाले first rank आ जाएंगे करके बच्चे पढ़ते हैं. The students over there, it will be a great impressive story for all of you. Improve your quality of work. You are working for yourself. Maslow's triangle में आप self में चढ़ोगे तब हम self realization में जाते हैं. So on day by day you have to compete yourself. कल का दिन का मेरा काम कैसा था, आज कितना और मैं बढ़िया कर सकता हूँ. Certification of quality of work. Managing increased volume of work. As I told you before, एक दो काम करना easy, अगर इकट्ठा 10 काम आ गया तो our quality gets diluted. But this man didn't do that. He improved his work whatever that. It's not that one dead body known to me will be properly ritually done. Otherwise, isko cremate karna. He used to do everything so clearly, properly. All the dead bodies were handled by him the same way properly. He managed complexity. अगर इसके अंदर बहुत गंदगी है, gunshot है. Another important information I'll tell you, if anyone knows about the late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi's assassination, one of the sued person, he cremated his body also. He was not looking into which caste this person belongs to, whether he's a terrorist or a person from a high class, high caste, nothing. All caste, creed, race, nothing came in between. He managed everything in the same way. So that is how this Mahadev has truly exhibited. That's how he was in the newspaper, and he was written by Subrata Roy in one of his book called as Professional. In that, this Mahadev story is written for example as professional, and that's how I'm taking this as an example to share it with all of you. So just Mahadev keeping in mind, you can be a true professional. So here ends my topic, but still I have few more things to share with you. So apart from what a true professional does, expectations from a professional. We need to know two things, efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency, if you see, that is, in fact, it's like a manual labor. Whatever the work you will be untiringly doing it, getting the thing right. गलत काम को सही करना is efficiency. But effectiveness is एक ही तीर मारना है सीधा bullseye, getting the right thing done. It becomes a habit. A true professional should be efficient, at the same time effective also. Right? We should not get tired of overburdened work, because in your work area also you'll see, if any one person is targeted with more work, that person loses the efficiency. Why only me? I'm getting 3-4 lectures in a week to take. I'm seeing more than 30 patients. Why only me? So if you are not doing that, and if you're trying to lower down yourself, you are going away from becoming a true professional. So try to take it. Effectiveness is don't allow wrong things to happen. Do only the right thing. Only one shot you get it becomes a habit, and it relates to the knowledge worker. So both are expected out of a true professional. So what is not professionalism? Kya nahi karna hai? We as a teacher, we as a clinician, we as a parent, what is not that professionalism is? First thing is that discussing confidential matters in public, because we get day in and day out patients, and many of the patients, they come and look at you as a savior. This they would have come with all references that this physiotherapist will take care of your problem. He had some personal issues also. He confidentially discuss everything. And a true professional is a person who never discloses it even to the family members. It should be kept confidential, means confidential. The person who discusses in public, आज मेरे पास ऐसे क्लिनिक में पेशेंट आया था, उनको ऐसे ऐसे हुआ था. If the patient feels that it should be kept confidential, and if you're sharing it in the public, means we are not exhibiting professionalism. Second is favoritism, handpicked. If you see, he is my neighbor, my friend's son, let me favor him. A true professional will not do favoritism. All are one. In a classroom, 30 students or 50 students or 100 students, irrespective of whether they are known to you or not, you don't favor anybody. Taking advantage of superior position. I am the principal of the institute. I am the head of the institute. Let me try to exploit people. A true professional will never do that. He or she never takes advantage of superior position. Rather, they become more humble, not helping those who seek help. Because there are some professionals who feels that if I show the direction, they will capture my place. So why should I? Let it be a secret with me. Let me not help. So that is not a professional. So a true professional is a person who never discloses anything confidential matters in the public, who never do favoritism, who never take advantage of superior position, who always is ready for help, is a true professional. As a physiotherapist, it is essential when you have all these qualities, I should say, that building upon that skill, may it be Mulligan or may it be any NDT, whatever the courses that you do to sharpen your skills, having this professional qualities will make you stand out and you become unique. Remember, we follow rules. Everybody, the globe, when we are born over here in the country, everything is a rule. Time is a rule. Discipline is a rule. We should not break the rules. We follow rules. Where there are no rules, use fair judgment. Like, you are in a crossroad, there is no red light. And just because that there is no red light, no rules, you cannot go. You should use your fair judgment, whether the vehicle is coming from the right or left. Am I prone for accident? Should I be careful? So you have to use your fair judgment before you execute it. There is no teacher. My head of the department is not there today. I have to take tomorrow a holiday. So should I have to inform him, or just because he is not there, let me take a leave? But your inner conscious will say that, no, my work needs to be handed over to somebody. Tomorrow, if I'm not there, this is my task. You use your fair judgment and you hand over the task, and then you move for a leave. That's an example. When in doubt, you could not able to come to a conclusion. I could not able to judge what to do. So do not do what suits. मेरे को जो comfortable है वो नहीं करना है. Ask. What should we ask when you are in doubt? Faced with dilemma, ask whether this act of yours will harm others. If I take a leave tomorrow without informing somebody, it is going to harm others. If the answer to question number S, हाँ मैं नहीं आऊँगा तो ये lecture खराब हो जाएगा, मैं students का कल एक घंटा break रहेगा, so then don't do it. Avoid doing that. If your answer to question number 1 is no, if I take holiday, nothing is going to affect. Ask then further. Ask whether this act of yours will harm you. Perform if it benefit others, else no. Even if it is going to harm you by taking a leave, but if it is going to benefit somebody, go ahead. Because you have to keep yourself next, others first. A true professional always keep the student first, patient first, the stakeholders, parent first. So you should be in the second line, even though you are going to compromise something. So this is one of the important quality of a true professional. What are the qualities, other further qualities of time, body and soul? Managing time. So today the webinar is at 3, 2:45 we have to log in, means a true professional will be there on time to get on. So we have to, you have to gadi sudharna padta hai jab hamara time aata hai. A true professional will never skip for the time. Time is crucial, time is money, time is everything. So that's self-discipline. Managing health, adequate exercises, relaxation and proper eating, because this body through which you are working, this is a medium. So you have to take care of yourself. Only if you are alive today, you could able to do a lot of good things. So you have to maintain such things. Self-discipline is also equally important. That it can be managed with simple yogasanas or meditation. It's an example which is beyond the scope of today's topic that we can discuss on another occasion. Doing more by doing less, which is my favorite quote. I tell it to my students. Doing more by doing less. What does it mean? Prioritize. What is first? You have to do it. First is always first. And even though there is some urgency for the another work, if it is not priority, keep it aside. Then only you could able to effectively do many things. Energize by doing something new, that is mentoring and grooming. Because this webinar also, in fact, these are all 3-4 months before, which was not that frequent for physiotherapists. I should say physiotherapists are resilient. They adapt to the situation. I think if we do a small research about which profession conduct a lot of webinars, I guess physiotherapists will be top. So every day there are a lot of, something new. We adapt to the things. That's a very good sign of being a true professional. You have to understand, you have to seek, you have to go for it. Mentoring and grooming. Try to support people, groom others, self-grooming and others. Bridging the knowledge gap. You have to update yourself by regularly attending seminars, conferences, reading books, staying connected with people. Not necessarily knowledge gain can be by attending some paid webinars or paid conferences. It can be by connecting yourself with society people. I always say that even a small child with cerebral palsy also will teach you a lot of techniques. As a patient who is coming to your department with some other problem, you do some technique and you fail, but you learn what should have been done. They are your masters. So knowledge gap can be by doing it also. The highest level of learning is by doing it. Furthermore, commitment to commitment. That's more important. Whatever you commit for, if I'm here today at 5 o'clock means I should commit to that commitment. I will not go back. A true professional will adhere to whatever he said. Do what you have said, you would do in the time you have committed. When the time is gone, and if you, because they say in English, a good friend is a friend who helps in need. If you give the offer the help at the later part, the friend will never need that help also. Similarly, when you commit something to do at that time, it should be done at that time. If not, probably the value get lost. Welcoming feedback. A true professional will never get worried about criticism, because in fact, a negative criticism helps you to grow higher. So out of this, when you conduct a lecture, when you are treating a patient, you should be always happy to take back the feedback from them, whether what went well, what didn't go well, so that you can be able to work on yourself, strengthen your qualities and skills. Doing some things for yourself. Though we say that self should be kept second and others are in the front, but at the same time, you have to do something for yourself in the form of doing meditation or going for a long ride or enjoying some relaxation. You have to, a professional should balance everything. It is not that always work. Beware of professional decay, because you have to keep yourself updated. The world is constantly changing. The only word which never changes, constant. It's evolving. COVID, in this, just let's say example of this corona pandemic outbreak. So much things have come out. The whole world is getting revamped. The education system has got revamped. The way we interact with people has revamped. So we have to update ourselves. We should never allow that rusting should happen to our brain. Keep yourself updated. Otherwise, you will be lost. Darwin's theories talked about survival of the fittest. Of course, that is very, very essential. But at the same time, now it is fastest. If you are late means train aage ja chuka, and you are boarding the train late means you are nowhere. So keep yourself updated. Being proactive. You have to be initiative. You have to anticipate. Like when you are in a driving school, when they teach you driving, it is just not that they teach you about ABC, accelerator, brake and clutch. They talk about on road, when you have to anticipate from nowhere a vehicle will come from the right to left. You have to be careful. It is just not that if you know all the skills, you will be driving it. You need to know surroundings. So proactive is something you anticipate that in the next 6 months, these things can happen. Let me update my syllabus or curriculum, or let me try to innovate something. So a true professional will always be proactive, which improves the self-confidence, and you have to be caring for others' well-being, which I talked about it. And another most important is, volumes, not worried about extra work. Because I have seen in my career also many people, when we assign a task, the question comes, why me? I'm already in charge of these 2-3 works. So why should I? There is a genuine discussion which can happen with your head of the department, with your immediate superiors, but we should not be worried about the extra work, because a true professional will definitely embrace those extra work and bring the best out of it. You can always explore it, understand it, and go back to that person who assigned it, and you can easily delineate the task. We should never get worried about it. Being the first to act. As I told you, everyone knows who has first landed in the moon. No one knows who has landed second. 3 Idiots. So being the first to act, you should be the first. You try for it. It should not be a competition. It shouldn't be a stress for you being the first to act, but still automatically this proactiveness helps you to act faster, because you have anticipated well before. Thinking on behalf of others. Though you cannot be an advocate for others, but when you pass on some rules and restrictions, you should think from the stakeholder side, what will be the reaction of others. So you do it in such a way that whatever the verdict that you pass will get sustained. You should, when you roll out, you should not roll back. So for that, you need to really analyze the thing. That's analytical mind, critical decision making. A true leader, a true professional, before he launches some other thing for his community, he analyzes everything. It is not like overnight you come bring something, some change, and tomorrow people come against it, and you cannot able to sustain that problem. You should anticipate that if I launch this particular activity, what will be the reaction of my people around? So knowing that, you have to do it. So that then that program becomes successful. That is another key thing that a professional should be having it as a quality. So furthermore, qualities are very important, as Benjamin Franklin says. To be humble to superior is a duty. You have to be, because you have to always bow head in front of your principals or in front of your seniors, but it equals to courtesy to inferiors, nobleness. So the way how you are humble to superiors, you have to be noble to your inferiors. Courtesy and humility are keywords. The more you grow higher and higher, you should become more courteous and you should be more humbled and grounded. Like how जो बोलते हैं जिस पेड़ में ज्यादा fruits है उसके ऊपर पत्थर फेंकते हैं, and if you see that जिसमें fruit bearing tree always will go down, so that the fruit, the gravity, it takes down. The more humbleness, vidya vinaya sampannaha, that's what the Sanskrit says. The more humble you are, vidya sampannaha means the wisdom comes to you. So humbleness should be the basic quality, especially when you are in power. That's more important. You will be always humble when you don't have power, but the moment you get the power, we show our all these antennas come out. But we should always be humbled, even though you are holding the power. Human being first and foremost. Money and other consequences are secondary. First, you should see that our Hippocratic oath, what does it say? They don't say treat people, heal thyself. It's all last. First line is, if anyone remember, do no harm. That's more important. Do no harm is the first slogan that we should be. If you can't able to treat some problem as a physiotherapist, we should not create any new problem by doing something wrong. So better not to harm is the most important slogan that we have to have it, and a true professional should hold that. And we should be responsible and accountable for what? A leader is a person who is accountable for anything. It is like almost like a director of a movie. The difference between the director and the hero of the movie, if the movie goes well, we always praise the hero. He acted very well. His face lift was superb. His fighting scene was very good. And on the other hand, if the movie flops, they say director was not good. That it should, the blame game, passing the ball shouldn't be there. A true leader, a true professional will always stay responsible and accountable for whatever the activity that you are or he is undertaking it. Because this talk, why I'm sharing it, the youngsters will be, tomorrow you are going to be the leaders of the nation. You may be heading the department tomorrow. You may be one of the head of the department of a big hospital, or as a dean principal of a big university college. So these qualities, if you try to imbibe right from the younger age, I'm sure that country like India needs such professionals who are responsible and accountable at all levels. That's why I said this professionalism is not limited to physiotherapy. It is for each and every individual. Next is self-awareness. I have a few more slides to go, another 5-6 slides. Probably I'm on time. Knowing who you are, you have to be aware of yourself, remain rooted. You should always have a self-check. I remember in one of my spiritual books where I read, we have to be careful, be thankful, and be grateful. Be careful is that whenever you are attaining a position, that egohood comes up, and that will spoil your reputation or that will put you down. So be careful that ego doesn't come when you are rising higher and higher in your career, in your ladder, in your professional, social, and whatever the life. Be thankful. As Dr. Manish in the beginning said, without this IAP India platform, this webinar wouldn't be possible. Without this IAP Women's Cell and the head of Uttarakhand branch and all, this would not have been possible. So the credit I should not take the credit that I did a wonderful lecture if this lecture goes well. I'm thankful to the whole team. It is a teamwork, because the management constructs the building. That's how that building is there, and we are employed by people, and we have got all the infrastructure, computer is there, net facility is there, we could able to do. So we have to be thankful to those people who are all supportive to us. And the last is be grateful, because it is that Almighty. Today in this COVID pandemic, we are still alive. People next to us are dying. People who are, they are just dying in bunches. It's going in lakhs now, but still God is kind and we are still alive. We could able to interact. Means we have to be grateful that a day is there with us. So knowing who you are is a true professional quality. Do not believe in myth about yourself. Don't worry about the myth. Let it be. People will talk about, as I told you, the tree that bears the fruit only will get stones. So let's try to analyze ourselves, know our limitations, or good or bad. Being authentic. So when I say this, that these are the qualities, means I should be authentic, because all these literatures which I'm talking about is all written elsewhere, which are all practice tested repeatedly. My own personal experiences, I should be authentic. In a true leader should be authentic in saying whatever, and being comfortable. Comfortable, I can replace this word as approachable also. Like, a true professional will be approachable. Whenever the call came from the police, Mahadev was there within no time to take up that unclaimed body. He didn't delay it. He didn't make it tomorrow. So approachability, comfortability is also equivalent. That it should be important for a professional. Importance of value addition. and looking beyond money. Money is not everything. Money should be the byproduct of any activity. You should do for the quality output, which is essential. Self-worth, peer recognition, and giving back to profession. This is the time for, like, if I take myself as an example, it's been more than 20 years now and in this profession. I'm known to many, those on the other side of this platform, just because I hold a degree, PT, physiotherapy. So now it is for me, it's my time to give back to the profession. Like how John Kennedy said in one of his talk, don't ask what the nation did for you, ask what you're going to do for the nation. Similarly, the profession has given enough for us. It has given name, fame, money, everything. So what am I going to give back to the profession? By doing such services. Treat your patients. Let your patients be your God. Let your patients be your angels. Bring light in their life. Let all your students be your angels. Let us initiate this profession, the skills among them, so that they can manifold, multiply, and treat so many people. So it is time for us to give back to the profession. Always a professional, think about that. Dealing with sense of emptiness. Empty hands, we should come and do like ghumna nahi hai. Things all should be let loose. We should not be worried about happening, not suffering false attractions. People may come and say, because I'm holding a higher position, sir, you are the best, or so and so. But we need to know, I should know, not yielding to temptations, being efficient. I talked about it. The to-do list, a true professional will have a to-do list. Morning, as we enter onto our make a to-do list. Sometimes you have to say no also. Many times, in fact, it is my experience of not saying no had landed up into a lot of trouble for myself. Just not to displease others. You may take up multiple tasks and ultimately you land up into chaos, and neither you be happy nor others be happy. So always anticipate and say no wherever you have to. White space is something that you think for yourself, though when you are working for others, be prepared, anticipate. It's like, like when you are going for a competitive examination like IELTS, TOEFL or CAT, GRE, whatever, you have to try your best. Be prepared for the worst also, so that you will not be shocked. So always be prepared. Ask pertinent questions before we enter onto some activity. Put questions. What will happen if I do this? If I don't do this, what will happen? What will be the outcome of this? And who are all my stakeholders? What is the benefit that they are going to get? So many things are there, hidden agenda in our activity. You have to ask pertinent questions. That's called as root cause analysis. That can be done before, but many of the RCAs happen post. Like after happening this, what will happen? Root cause analysis help us to identify the pitfalls, mistakes, so that when you venture into a new activity, you never get onto trouble. So intent listening. God has given 2 ears to listen more, 1 mouth to speak less. So we should be a patient listener. So many things, even in silent, we learn many things. So you have to be sharp in listening to others. Know the time. Last, the component, I'm coming up to the end of my talk. 2-3 more slides to go. Time. First things first. You have to prioritize, as I told you. How to concentrate. We can do many things, but can do only one thing at a time. Because, multitasking, though it is admirable for physiotherapists, but we have to be careful that by doing multitasking, the quality should not get complicated. That should not be spoiled. When you can do only one thing at a time, you have to do the first thing first. List down to-do list 1, 2, 3, 4, prioritize it and do first thing first. And poster it is. Everyone has got the same time, 24 hours. And if you effectively manage the 24 hours by prioritizing and postulating the things, you could able to convert the decisions into action. Your actions will be adequate. But remember, when you are just postponing the thing, what you postpone, you abandon. So, jo aap abhi nahi karna, kal karenge means tomorrow never comes. More important is, it is risky as well. What you postpone, maybe someone else triumph. For example, today you have suddenly got an idea of introducing a new fellowship course or a certificate course in your institute. And you feel that it is not the need of that. Let me plan it for next 6 months. Probably in the next month, somebody else will come up and would have done that. So then your activity is nowhere holding good because somebody has already taken it up. So when you know that when you are postponing it, see to that it is adequately postponed and it is not too much later that you abandon it. At the same time, prioritize it, which is to be done first should be done first. So you should have that courage to analyze it, pick the future as against the past, aim high, because हमें सोचना है तो लड्डू सोचेंगे क्यों बूंदी सोचना है. So you have to always have higher thoughts, choose your own direction rather than climbing on the bandwagon. जो भी जा रहा है उसमें चढ़ना नहीं आपको, because I have seen many students when they pick up the master's program, they come and ask about कौन सा master's specialty लेना है, ortho लेना है, cardio लेना है, neuro लेना है, pediatrics लेना है, and they go by the guide's words or go by the teacher's word. Yes, of course you have belief in teachers, they are going to give you the right direction, but you should also set your own direction. What am I going to become? Each one of us in this stage today, sitting in the webinar, should always ask this one question to yourself: where am I going to be where am I going to be in the next 5 years? Where am I going to be in the next 10 years? Though tomorrow is not in our hands, every day is a blessing. Tomorrow is not in our hands, but visionary, we should have a clear-cut vision of what am I. The direction should be set in. So this is the time management paradox. Time is always divided into two parts. One is urgent, another is important. We always struggle between these two, urgent and important. Most of the time we have some important task, but we'll end up doing urgent task. And sometimes we wanted to do something urgent, but the important task comes in. But how are we going to manage this paradox? There is one thing called as Covey's quadrant. This Covey quadrant helps us to, psychologists must be knowing this. Those who are there with some psychological background normally use this matrix. It's an interesting matrix. This is the, all the professionals can look at it. This is the first quadrant, which is called as quadrant of necessity, which is necessity means inevitable, have to do it. Another is quadrant of quality and personal leadership. Here there is a choice. Which one should I suit? It is important versus not urgent. And the third is not important but urgent, which is called as quadrant of deception. And then the last one is not important but not urgent, which is quadrant of waste. So our day-to-day life activities fall into any of these four, or sometimes all four: quadrant of necessity or leadership or waste. How is that we decide? Urgent is sometimes it is crisis, pressing problems, deadline, last minute preparation. Though it is not important, I have to do it. It's a deadline, so you do it. It is, you are managing it, but there is no good quality. But the second quadrant is focused. It is more focused. I know it is not urgent. I have to submit it 10 days later only, but let me do it. Exercises, I am exercising. I know exercise, though not important today, I'm just less than 50. But if I do exercise now, I can live longer. My health, my heart capacity will be better. So it is not urgent, but it is important. You know, that is the quality of quadrant and personal relationship. And the next one is not important, but urgent. You know, sometimes your boss comes and says that you have to do this, pressing matters, interruption, some phone calls comes, you are doing some work, some email report has to be submitted. So that is which should be avoided. And the last is waste. Completely avoided is, you know, many of the time we do for some small meetings, junk mail, WhatsApp, Facebook, internet always, trivial job, you know, some phone call, just like unnecessarily. So most of the people, unprofessionals will be around this area. Partly professionals will be somewhere over here. And those who want to become professionals will be in this important urgent. And a true professional or the one who is treading towards leadership will be in the focused area. So in short, this Covey time management matrix talks about important but not urgent activity is the key area to be a true professional. Planning, prepare it, prevent it, have value clarification, you know, have true relaxation and appreciation. So though not urgent, but it is important is the key for becoming a true professional. So we have to take care of our physical health to be a good professionals by having exercise, nutrition, stress management, followed by Dr. Dogra's talk, mental, which is by reading, visualizing, social, which is by doing some service, being empathetic, spiritual, it's personal choice, you know, by having value clarification, study and meditation. So if you balance this all four, physical, social, mental, spiritual, what will happen is the balance gets established, the fire within gets kindled, and we can be a truly successful, highly professional person. So building the end, I'm at the last slide. Nurture self-awareness by keeping a personal journal. Be your own self-critic. Know your weakness. Don't wait for others to come and tell you your weakness. Maintain a personal journal. Learn, listen, and respond to your conscience. Your conscience is something, you know, people in spiritual life say that is God. Your conscience gives you every right direction. Listen to it, learn from it, and respond. And nurture independent will by making and keeping promises. Commit to the commitment and develop creative imagination through visualization. If it is a face-to-face program, we do a small group dynamics activity. We take you through a visualization module, but owing to time limitations, I'm not going into detail about visualization. That ends our talk. So let's accomplish each task in a professional way and promote leadership in our act. So with this, I'm concluding my talk, and my email ID and contact number is here. I thank all the organizers, SBS University, IAP Women's Cell and IAP India, for giving me this great opportunity to share with you my piece of knowledge. And over to the audience, anybody, if any questions, anything, I'll be happy to answer it. Otherwise, God bless everyone. Let's all stay connected. Let's all stay safe, and let's be a true professional in the true sense that we will be here and our absence will be felt when we leave this world. Let's live our life in such a way that people should talk about it, that man was there, and because of that, this has happened. So let your absence be felt by everyone when you are not there, and your presence be felt by everyone by your good deeds and activities. God bless everyone. Thank you so much. Over to the organizers. Yes, Dr. Arun Manishwar and Reena ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful workshop, this webinar.
Yeah.
And we follow that CTMM module, that COVID time management matrix.
Oh, nice. Very
We follow that second focused area, that is not much important.
not important, but not urgent.
Important and not urgent.
Not urgent.
We
That's
try to follow that thing.
thank you.
This is the second time I am actually hearing you through the webinar.
Oh, right. Thank you.
Very nice webinars.
Because I
And
thought of rather than talking any specific techniques, which I feel this is one of the important thing as a giving back to the profession. I think sharing that professionalism is very important. I felt so that's why I took it as a general topic. Since it's open for audience, I hope it would have served the purpose. And I'll be happy for comments or any
definitely,
questions.
sir, definitely. Thank you so much for your precious time, sir.
Thank you so much. My
I
pleasure.
ask the second resource person to start the session.
Yes.
Could you,
Best wishes.
that sharing you have to.
I'm going to stop share. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Now,
I'm here listening to the next one. You can proceed.
we are also waiting for Archana ma'am to start the session. Archana ma'am, this is your time. You can directly start the lecture.
I'll introduce myself first. No? I'll go on the video. No?
Yeah.
Very good afternoon to all of you. And first of all, big thank you to Harihar Prakash sir. It was a very innovative lecture which all of us were listening very patiently. I thank the IIP India and definitely the Physiotherapy Institute SBS for calling me over. A great thanks to Dr. Vinod and Dr. Nagesh from the North Zone. Dr. Reena Kumari, a special thanks to you. Dr. Gaurav Deep, a special thanks to you. And Dr. SP Singh, a special thanks to you. Now, as for the afternoon session, I would welcome all of you to stress and anxiety management of COVID-19. I would start my session with a little YouTube video which I have prepared for all of you. So the session will be starting with my video. Kindly be very watchful, and I'm very prompt that all of you are here with me. See you in a while.
Yes.
Can everybody see me and the video?
Hi, I'm Dr. Archana Dogra from Anupriya Dental Health and Wellness.
Can everybody see me? Can everybody see the video?
Now it is not the video, ma'am. Only Anupriya Dogra's.
Okay,
photo
Anupriya
is there.
Dogra is there. Okay, just a sec.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can you see the video now?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dr. Archana Dogra from Anupriya Dental Health and Wellness Center. Today I'm here to talk about how to
Ma'am,
manage
can you
anxiety
change
and
the
stress
position of
in
your
COVID-19.
screen, ma'am?
Over the course of this,
Can you put it in horizontal position
Yes.
so that you can enlarge it?
I'll speak about
Can.
what issue people are
Beg your pardon, sir?
and how through simple
In the screen, it is showing
Can
very
you repeat,
small.
sir?
In the screen,
Very
your video
small.
is
Okay.
seeing so small.
One sec.
Can you tilt the screen?
Okay, is it fine, sir? Yeah.
Yeah.
One sec, sir. I'm doing it.
Again. Yeah. This is okay.
I'll resume it.
This is okay.
tips
Yeah.
and tricks, we can keep things fresh,
Yeah.
feel positive, and get through these uncertain times.
Can you hear the? Is it audible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am. It's coming with the
Is
music.
the
I
video
would like
audible to
open this
everybody?
session with a few lines from a poem
Okay.
by Emily.
You can hear me speaking as well.
Yeah.
In this short
Yes,
life
ma'am.
that only nearly lasts
Thank
an hour, how much, how little is within our power? And we'll talk about this personal power. the
So this is
power
a
that
short video
resides
which
in
I have
all of us.
prepared.
It is the power, the me power, that will help us to make sense of the unknown and save us from I have been in my office, seen patients from all spheres of life remotely. I have come across two broad kinds of fears. Fears of getting sick, fear of losing someone who's close to them. And second is anxiety that news around us has caused. My patients often call me and tell me, ma'am, I feel scared in the public places. And they get scared of mere sneezing or mere food infections also. Hysteria and fear of mass infection and death has affected all of us. Anxiety and stress is our next topic. Let's discuss what causes it. Anxiety is mostly caused by what we hear and see around us. News channels are flooded with information about death toll, the rising cases of corona in India and around the world. This instills a constant and natural fear in all of us. That is, am I safe? Let's discuss stress now. Man is a social animal, cannot stay alone, and it's so hard to spend time all alone. Regular information about the virus sends across. Let's discuss stress. Man is a social animal, and it's hard to be alone. They cannot spend time alone. Regular information about the virus sends across negative feelings and makes us hopeless. Adding to the burden is financial losses, unemployment, and shutting down of business. This all adds to stress in all walks of life. Stuck in the four walls of the houses all day in the pajamas. in the houses the whole day in our pajamas makes us lethargic and depressed. We stop seeing the true point in anything and lose motivation in anything. Point number one, acknowledge your feelings. Understand what you feel about the whole situation, the current situation. Are you feeling helpless? Are you feeling confused? Or are you worried about the loved one whom you cannot meet? Point number two, assess the situation. Know your facts. It's a fact that Chinese goods, mosquitoes, and pets cannot spread coronavirus. Only listen to the trusted sources, not to the WhatsApp forwards. Create a plan for the whole day. Organize your day. Schedule it up. Keep sufficient time for yourself. Take good care of your health. Take steps to increase your immunity. You can do yoga. You can take short walks. You can breathe in fresh oxygen. Fourth, and a very important point for the mental health being, is cultivate a healthy mindset. Know that this time will go. Be positive. Maintain a healthy diet and reduce your stress and the stress of your neighboring people also. Keep the information very limited. Don't unnecessarily consume. Point number five, utilize additional sources to stay connected. We have WhatsApp, we have Skype, we have social media with such a lot of information. And of course, with the neighboring people and your loved ones, you can stay connected virtually. Now, towards the end, I would like to say to all of you, stay connected, stay happy, stay safe during COVID-19. And of course, stay stress.
I think I have some problem with this.
Excuse me, Dr. Archana. The video is not proper.
The video is stuck basically. Yeah.
लाइव स्टार्ट करने के लिए।
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible now?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So I hope you enjoyed a bit of my video, so which covers most of the things which everywhere we are hearing every day: COVID stress and anxiety, COVID stress and anxiety. How to deal with the COVID stress and anxiety? That is a question. So as our previous spokesperson was talking about professionalism, yes, here walk in the whole professionals, right? Because just to shout and scream about anxiety and stress does not solve the problem. The society needs professionals. And here we walk in. So let's come straight to the topic. As we all know that the COVID pandemic situation is affecting the whole of the world, and all of us are dealing on various platforms with various problems. So for the first thing, we'll start off with the younger age group. Being a mother, for the infants and the middle-aged children, it is very difficult to keep them home. All of us know. And of course, the college-going students are also a great consideration to all of us. So of course, Again, the same formulas work again. Routines. All of us need to work into routines. Routines about the lifestyle. We have to wake up early in the morning, of course, perform a few yogic and exercises, whatever things we have in mind. And definitely a proper routine can only manage everything out. Of course, SBS is a big institution and we have online classes to keep children occupied in schools also. But apart from that, the parenting, this is a time where the mothers and the fathers also walk in. The pandemic and the COVID-19 stress also deals with the situation of the mother, father, and the child relationship in the house. The routines are set in. There is a lot of pressure of the child that you're not supposed to go out. So what to do? The answer is spend some time with the child, some healthy time. That doesn't mean that you're spending all of the time with the child. The child also needs his space. But of course, we can cultivate healthy habits that the child can definitely think about things which definitely were not in mind earlier. Reading storybooks, which was completely washed off. In our era, children used to be acquainted with storybooks. But now I feel it is not much into consideration. So these are some habits which the children can inculcate. But I would definitely say cherish this time with the child. The children will never get such precious time with all the children. The second issue, which was definitely a big priority, which I had, was the men folk, how to deal them. The usual, what can you say, the slogan of the house was "Biwi se kaise bache," and lots of slogans which I could hear in the market. But yes, men folk, I would definitely say flow with the flow. That's all we can do. Right now, staying in the house for much long hours because men folk is the bread earning member of the house who's got to go out and accomplish lots of activities in order to get the financial and the security to the house. But for them to stay in the house is also a big pressure. And definitely, I do understand that being a professional. So the only solution is flow with the flow. Whatever is coming, go ahead. You have your own routines. You have other are coming in, so you can go for that. And but there is a particular sector which I would say, not like all our professionalism is here. There are certain sectors of people who definitely fall into habits of alcoholism and different sort of pornographies and things like that. So I would just say stay aware and stay safe from them. We are here to build up a healthy routine, but not to get into such habits which definitely spoil the future. Financial losses. This is one more big topic which hits the whole society in terms of stress. Yes, we are all facing and dealing these problems. And the whole worldwide and nations are fighting with financial issues. So the Indian labor organizations estimates more than 25 million of jobs have been threatened throughout this time. In places like US, there are people who are just being laying off and they're doing double duties and things like that. So the pressure and anxiety of getting and not losing the job is actually too much. I'd done a little case study also. And according to this case study, which was done from May 9th to May 15th, 2020, using an anonymous Google forum via social media, I did it. The items used like anxiety, depressive symptoms, symptoms of internet addiction, pornography addiction, experiences of hostility in the house, changes in food and sleep habits, social empathy, and relationship quality. to construct an overall picture of social and psychological experience during the lockdown period showed a great graph movement, you know. At certain areas of the middle class, there was a graph which was going up. And on areas where there were slums and the lower class of strata of society, the graph was going down. There was a lot of financial burden, and due to that, you know, there were cases reported of lots of domestic violence, also domestic violence, drug abuse. So these things were really going up. The analysis shows that the mean anxiety, the generalized anxiety disorder, the GAD syndrome scores were higher for sexual minorities than for the heterosexuals. High risk groups versus low risk groups, and the people with the history of depression and loneliness was too much. And especially, we were blessed to be in a nation like India, where we are all socially connected. There are all lots of relationships which are socially here to bind us, to hold us. But in nations like the European and the Western places, they were dealing with the problems of loneliness also. So there was a lot of depression and stress also seen on those areas. The generalized anxiety disorder scores were lower for singles than for those in relationships with the opposite sex, and insignificantly lower for those in the same sex relationships compared to the heterosexual relationships. There was no link between the residents in a high case count area or state and anxiety symptoms. Depressive symptoms, let's come over to that, was much higher with a history of depression, of course. डेफिनेटली जिसको डिप्रेशन होगा डिप्रेसिव सिम्टम उसमें ज्यादा दिखेंगे एंड वो सोशली जब डिस्कनेक्ट होना शुरू होगा देन ऑल द मोर the depression would fall in. The activities like going to the gym, which would definitely generate the corticosteroid and serotonin level, जो कि थोड़ा सा depressive syndrome को नीचे करता है या it puts it on the lower side, was not occurring. There were the lockdown situations also where people were not supposed to get out of the houses, and due to the compactness of the house, quite a few, like we are blessed to be in a state like Devbhoomi, Uttarakhand, where we have long pastures to walk in. But think of places like Mumbai, the metropoles, where people were not even supposed to come down of the house or walk out of the house. So here, the loneliness and the depression scales were much higher. Sexual minority participants are also reported a greater frequency of masturbation than heterosexuals. So these were the certain areas where the depression could have been seen in the society. As expected, the presence of depressive and anxiety symptoms were linked to a higher chance of self-reported sleep disorder. Definitely routines were upset. So there was a sleep disorder syndrome also which was being reported at various sectors. Somebody is having late nights and then they're getting up late in the morning, then the afternoon nap is being skipped. The routines were absolutely upset. There was a change of food patterns also. Uh, but definitely there was a healthy switch over to a healthy habit of home food. We were less on the processed and the market food, which definitely affected the physician's practice. I was talking to a few physician friends of mine who told me, you know, this year we did not. And there were very few cases of dengue reported to us as compared to last year. There were very few cases of diarrhea, dysentery reported to us. So it's not that. The pandemic situation has also given us given us a little self-esteem and self-control on our tongues. So I guess that's a good sign. People who call their family members during the lockdown situation, like who could manage calling their family members close to them, uh, say a few weeks earlier, were less vulnerable to the situation of depression and uh, anxiety and stress because their loved ones were around them. They could share moments of happiness, and lots of people were posting on FB also their daily routines and things like that. So we were more likely to have social empathy and better social relationships in this time. So why talk about the bad always? We can talk about the good, which the COVID and the pandemic did to us. Another survey I did, so 282 Indian adults, three-fourths of whom were 30 years or younger, about 60% were male, and 77% were heterosexual. Most 88% were educated beyond the 12th standard, and about 81% were urban residents. So the urban residents uh, were in a better shape and of stress and anxiety. There's a little proverb which I would like to add is like dealing with anxiety is definitely not considered to be a very general topic in India. But I guess anxiety is in everybody. What is going to happen to tomorrow? That is a big question. Self content is less. So anxiety levels are very high over here, and people think anxiety is a general behavioral pattern which a person has. No, that is wrong. Anxiety needs a little treatment and little counseling, which in India I don't feel people really pay a lot of attention to. But in much developed countries, anxiety is considered to be a syndrome. So yes, stress and anxiety was a very big issue which all of us were dealing during these situations, and it's okay to feel defenseless and overpowered. As we read newspaper flare-ups, the anxiety levels would definitely go higher. Every day we would see, okay, fine, this area is sealed. Now this area is also affected. So the anxiety was continuously going up. But my friends, to deal anxiety, the best part is to have little attention to what is going outside and pay more attention to your self-health being. Concentrate more on what you're doing. Productivity, what you can produce during this time. And I very well appreciate Harihar Prakash's story. That person was totally concentrating on building up his own morals and his own self things rather than concentrating how would things go. So anxiety and depression are two things which are definitely at one point of time uncontrollable. But yes, if we start dealing with them and with the help of our near ones and dear ones, start thinking about it, like how to go on patterns which would definitely get things back to us, we are definitely going to be in a better shape of mental health and better statistical health also for the close ones and near ones. In my field of dentistry, when I was working throughout the COVID time and with of course all the precautions. So the biggest challenges which I was dealing was getting used to the new systems of the sanitization and the patient dealings, how to get out this stress out of them that no, when you are coming to a clinic, you are safe. Of course, with precautions, we were able to curb all the problems. Uh, people would see us in a COVID dress and they would look at us and say, "How are you managing?" So we would just give a thumbs up and tell them, "It's a great feeling." So when a person sees you smiling with a thumbs up, the person will start smiling on his own. That is what I would advise all the professionals. Deal everybody with a big thumbs up and say all is well. Yeah, that's the greatest mantra which I can give you right now. Yes, in the dentistry field, I would like to say, since my profession is that, and the biggest problems which occurred, of course, we are saying कि routines बहुत disturbed है, late night sleeping है, online है, alcoholism है, drug intakes है, yes. So what effect did they have on the oral health? The oral manifestations which I could see that time were inflamed gums, gum bleeding, plaque, calculus, deposition, attrition. Let me, my friend, this is a very professional term which I'm using. Attrition would be like grinding your teeth. Of course, घर में आप हैं, एंजाइटी हो रहा है, डिप्रेशन में जा रहे हैं, थोड़ा सा कुछ है नहीं करने को, you are gritting on each other. So the signs which I could see was that lots of attrition. The enamel layer was wearing off at that point of time. People susceptible to foul smell, halitosis, were coming more to me. And they would say, like, we were fine earlier. What has happened? So the answer was, put the stress levels a little down, come into routines, and definitely take care of yourself. So these are a few issues which I was facing on my area. And of course, financial issues were there with patients who came to me, no, these treatments we'll get after once the COVID situation is under control, because there is a lot of slash down in the income and things like that. And we would say, okay, whenever you wish, whatever you could do is all right. Whatever bare minimum we can help you with, we will do that on a greater note. But yes, there it was the moral duty of all the doctors in India and abroad to support and help and get people out of this situation. So yes, we were one of the corona warriors who were standing over here, and this platform also is performing like a corona warrior, like even at distancing and by virtual whatever virtual things we can do, we are creating a platform of awareing people. So step one is what we are doing over here. So I can just say that anxiety is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do. Keep on thinking, 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 and thinking, but doesn't get you anywhere. So, my friends, stress and anxiety are levels that we should not get into. Rather, break open your mind, get free out of it, and have a healthy lifestyle. That's what all of us are working here on. So, if there are any questions to the session, I would definitely be here to answer them. Over to you, and have a healthy time. Stay safe. Reena ma'am, can I have you over? Dr. Vinod.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
I don't want to increase the stress and anxiety just by carrying on and on.
Very soon, Reena ma'am.
Hello, 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 Dr.
Hello.
Darshana. It
Yes,
was
ma'am.
good. It was amazing. Your video was good. Though some
Thank you,
connection
ma'am.
problems were there.
Of course, yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
to
it.
all of you, ma'am. It was a great teamwork done, and I appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I hand over the webinar to Dr. Kaushik.
Yes, sir. That is a really wonderful session, which I just today, I think everyone learned. I learned a lot of things. Thanks a lot. I just shows my gratitude towards IAP Women's Uttarakhand branch, all the moderators and the resource person for having this wonderful webinar. And I think today the most awaited and most required topic is professionalism, because
Yes.
somewhere we are lacking and we have to improve in that.
True.
That's really wonderful. And I show my gratitude towards again Dr. Ruchi Vasnai and Dr. Sanjeev K. Jha for providing this platform. And I just request everyone, please subscribe IIP India YouTube channel and IIP India Facebook page. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks to you, sir. Thanks a lot. It was a
Thanks a
small
lot, sir.